Hi, my name's Harold Gutman. I cover North Carolina, and we have Steve Wiseman who covers Duke. And welcome to Our Game, a video production by the Durham Herald-Sun, where we talk about our game in the triangle, which is, of course, college basketball. It didn't seem that way as we started conference play. UNC, Duke, and State all took one on the nose to start the conference. But Duke was able to rebound with a win, and so was NC State, actually. Carolina, not so much. Let's start with Duke. They start with losing that first ACC game to Notre Dame, bounce back, beat Georgia Tech at home. What happened against Notre Dame, and what changed against Georgia Tech?
Well, they really let things get away late in the game against Notre Dame on the road, their first true road game, and they didn't pass the test. They were up by 10 points with about 11 minutes to go. And the players actually said, we got happy. We thought we had it in the bag, and they didn't clamp down defensively, and they let Notre Dame come back and win. And so against Georgia Tech, they kind of started off slow. Close game in the first half, but they were able to pull away in the second half, play much better defense. They got scoring out of Rodney Hood again, 2 games in a row with 27 points for Rodney, which is what they really need right now. Jabari Parker's not playing as well as he has at other times this year. They think maybe he's kind of hit the freshman wall. Even he says he's kind of fighting through something. He's no health issue there, but going into this weekend's game at Clemson and then the quick turnaround with Virginia on Monday, they kind of look for him to kind of bounce back really strong.
Yeah, with UNC, they lost at Wake on Sunday, came back, lost to Miami at home on Wednesday. 2 pretty bad losses when you consider that Wake and Miami aren't considered 2 of the top upper-tier teams in the ACC. There's some similarities with both those games, starting with Marcus Page. He had scored 11 points in every game in the non-conference schedule, and then for whatever reason, he just couldn't find a shot in conference play. I don't know if the 35 minutes a game are catching up to him. I mean, he's kind of, he's 175 pounds, kind of a slender guy. But he was 1 of 8 from behind the arc against Wake, and then 2 of 15 from the field against Miami. And then Leslie McDonald, who everyone kind of thought would be the savior when he came back after his 9-game suspension to help out with the outside shooting, he hasn't been any better. He was 1 of 7 from 3 against Wake, and then also 3 of 12, I think, against Miami. So, they're not getting the outside scoring. They're still not getting the consistent inside scoring. And then it's not just on offense, though. I mean, defensively, they gave up 20 layups and dunks to Wake Forest, and then Miami had no problems getting inside. So it's kind of off, the problems are everywhere, as you would expect from a team that's 0-2 with the losses to Miami and Wake. Now looking ahead, Duke, you mentioned they failed their first road test. They got another big road game coming up, Clemson on Sunday.
Yeah, and they're going to have to tighten up the defense. And you mentioned Carolina gave up a lot of dunks and layups. That's what happened to Duke against Notre Dame, and then early on against Georgia Tech. They weren't cutting off the drivers and switching on defense like they need to. It's been kind of a chronic problem at times this year. So that's something they're going to work on between now and going to Clemson. Clemson is a very strong defensive team. Only one team has scored over 70 points against them this year, as they've won 10 of their first 13. So, not normally known as a tough place to go play, but Clemson is playing some good defense this year. It's probably going to be a tight game.
Yeah, and the Clemson game's on Saturday, and UNC is going up to Syracuse on Saturday. They really struggled against Miami's zone on Wednesday, which doesn't bode well, considering that Syracuse has what many people consider the best zone defense in the country. So we'll see if they can do any better on Saturday. The one thing I guess they have in their favor is they do have this ability as a big underdog to kind of shock people in the college basketball world, going up, beating Michigan State, beating Louisville, beating Kentucky. So they haven't been able to do it as a favorite at home. Maybe they can do it on the road as a big underdog. Maybe that's kind of the motivation that they need. So thank you guys for joining us. It should be another exciting week in the ACC, and we'll see you back here next week.